We can't
anymore.
talk about Showdown without talking about the fact that it is now called Showdown. I want to get your
Yeah.
thoughts on this because I think we talked about this a bit before. I want to give a quick overview of my thoughts because, as I said, sort of painfully in the middle. Uh, I understand why the original complaint was brought up.
Yes.
I will say, before we get into any of our sarcastic dickhead bullshit, I don't know nearly enough about the situation in Israel or the invasion or anything that's happened over there specifically on that date and the significance of that and whatever. I am not here in any way, shape, or form, and I don't think Jake is either to cast any stones on either side of a real world situation.
Absolutely not what we're trying to do.
That
And
being said,
yeah,
that being said, one of my biggest bugbears
they have 9/11
is
tribute shows. They have
yep,
and here's I'm cutting you off because I got to. I just got to get it out. I got to burst this out.
yeah, yeah,
What
go, go, go.
what the absolute fuck? I understand there's a very small minority of people that you thought would be upset, but there weren't even
Mhm.
actually people complaining. There was just a few trolls online that took advantage of a situation they knew was gonna. Oh, the V in invasion is what the same font and lettering that Hamas uses in their imagery. That's what they
It's
use as
also
a
the same
symbol.
V in Invasion that they used 21, 24 years ago at another pay-per-view called
An
Invasion.
invasion, and that'd be like saying, "Oh, we can't have Halloween Havoc anymore." It's because it's related to the Halloween Michael
Satan.
Myers massacre. Yes, like
Yeah.
some real world event. But we know that's not the case. We know that's not what we're getting, and that's not what's happening. And it's just like I feel like they're bending the knee again for something that's
Mhm.
completely unnecessary because they didn't have any forethought in mind. It was simply we took a
Nope.
show from decades back, over 2 decades ago, that we had
Mhm.
that went poorly, and we're trying to give it better SEO. We're trying to make it a thing, and so the fact that they had to change it because of the like, if it was in September, it would have been okay, but because it's near the same or on the same date. I
Mhm.
thought it was October 8th, but regardless,
This is the thing, because of my lack of worldwide knowledge and context and all that kinda thing, when I read about it, and I did try to read about it a little bit, and the fact that it falls on the exact same date, and I'm like, gonna give a lot of leniency. I was like, okay, the demographic of people that are gonna be affected by that or offended by that or see it as potentially offensive, okay. I'm not saying that people can't feel how they feel about stuff. What I am saying is it's a much bigger example of something that just boggles my mind in general, and it's anybody from any side of any conversation trying to own language.
you can't have a show that shows children on it in December because Sandy Hook was a thing. Like that kind of like
Yep,
December, whatever the date is, the 14th, 12th. I know it's right around
yep.
my mom's birthday, so still like
Well, it's like people talk about now the movie, like the Scream movies. It's, oh, somebody got killed in the theater, and
yeah,
that's happened in real life. But it's like most of the cases you're bringing up happened after that movie came out.
exactly. And
Like, what are we
oh,
doing?
well, that's why it happened because they were motivated by the content, and it's like, and a lot of
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
movies and horror movies use like the simplest case scenario to go ahead and
Oh yeah,
and scare you. So real world events
because that's how
are
you draw a
manif-
broad audience.
exactly and
Keep.
affect the
I
most.
love horror movies, man, and we're at October 1st now. We're in. I love this idea. I don't know who started it. This is a separate tangent altogether. I don't know where this started, but somebody was putting it all over my timeline like a month ago that September 1st is the beginning of Halloween season.
Yes,
I love that
I'm okay with
because I mean,
that.
Christmas starts in like, I don't know, August for some people. But
Do we have
the
a
thing,
guest on the podcast? Spaz. I too love spooky season.
oh my god, it's catering Undertaker. It's Cater Taker. That's what it
That's
is
the
now.
name,
Going
Gator Taker.
going forward, it's Cater Taker.
I like the meatballs.
And Michelle doesn't like mine anymore.
She
Anyways,
doesn't like
getting
my
back to what we are
cooking.
saying, because we do have to sweep over this. Um, as I say,
It's
I'm not even
ridiculous
pushing
trying to
back.
inject humor into it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I do want to say, like, there are parts of this conversation that we can be dicks about, and there's parts of
Yeah.
this conversation that I do want to make sure get handled with like the
Fair.
appropriate, care and people not
Absolutely.
feeling like they've been targeted. Um, so, like, the people like, the demographic of people that were upset by it and the fact that I get it, it fell on the exact day, like, that is a conversation to have with somebody at some point. On
Yeah.
the other side of the coin, it's just I'm sorry, I hate to do these broad, "Oh, look the way the world is these days," but, like, there's so much policing of language. Only some people matter. Only some people can be proud of who they are. Only some people can have an invasion, apparently.
Yeah, no
Um,
kidding.
it's just and it's not and even none of those examples that I've brought up, and yes, they have specific ties to specific things, but, like, stop trying to own bits and pieces of language. It's this weird control thing, and people like having control over minuscule things that shouldn't matter, but they boil up into other things.
Yeah,
Now,
no doubt about it.
the sillier side of this conversation is the people that just don't like WWE that say, "Oh, WWE never listens to anybody. They don't care who they hurt, blah 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 blah," have now flipped the coin and it's like, "Oh, look at that. They can't even decide what the name of their pay-per-view is. They flip-flop on everything and blah blah blah. And look at what a silly and it is a silly name because
Yes, it
they
is.
had to do it in 7 days or less.
Exactly. Less. They had like 24-hour notice that they were creative
They were
could
gonna do
change
something
it.
else. Well, here's the thing, like, Showdown is like, they do the Super Showdown they've done Super Showdown in, Saudi, they've done Super Showdown in Australia, but it's well, I don't know what the copyright, the patent process is, but, like, could they turn around and copyright another name on, like, 24 hours notice?
Yeah.
So the name sucks, but they're kinda stuck between a rock and a hard
Well,
place,
yeah,
and the
because
same
because I guess they tried a few other ideas near invasion, like like
Yeah,
not quite like intrusion, but something close to it.
yeah.
And they tried like
But
other
the people out
military
there that
terms.
were making that is like anything that could like
Could be military
I hate to use
themed. Yeah.
yeah, anything that's combat, and I'm like, "It's wrestling."
So now they're
All of
like,
them are combat related.
yeah, so they're like, so what can we do in the still in the lieu of military or combat theme? What else can we do?
Yeah.
Oh, like a Wild West, like a showdown. That's a western,
Do
not.
you know what it makes me think of, honestly? And I didn't think about it until just now, until we've just turned this corner on the conversation. I wonder if they go ahead and get so paranoid that they rename war games.
You it could
It's dumb,
happen.
but it could go that far.
It really could. And if anybody that says
Apparently,
no,
and
look at what happens right now.
look at what
So
happens in a couple of days. The other thing, and this is like just from the internet, so telephone, telegram, telewrestler, it may not be true. WWE have already rescinded a patent, trademark, whatever filing for next year. Because apparently next year, I don't know whether this had anything to do with TNA or not. Apparently, they were going to be doing NXT Insurrection next year,
yes,
which is another old school pay per view. And it's
yes,
just like,
because that was
okay,
over in
I know.
the over the pond in Great England, right? The Insurrection pay per
Yeah,
view. That was the
yeah,
one
they
there,
were like UK specific they were pretty shit.
and they were
Let's
never
be
good.
real for a
I
sec. It was
remember
X-Pac versus The Rock in the main event.
yes, my buddy paid like I forget how much. I think it was like $150. And in 90, whatever that was when that happened,
That was a lot of money.
99, that was a lot of money, especially being like in middle school. He paid so much money for somebody that recorded it off of like Sky Sports there on a VHS. And of
Oh,
course,
I
when
thought
you
you were
did
gonna
it,
say to go.
no, he spent $150 to get the VHS shipped from somebody that recorded it on a VHS
Oh, that's
like setup
gross.
over there. That's how they
That's
used to do the
gross.
tape tradings, and
Well,
then
apparently, like, I didn't know this until recently, but apparently when they did those, quote unquote UK only pay-per-views, apparently we got them up here too. It just wasn't very well advertised, so nobody
yes,
watched
they
them.
were over like they consider you guys to be technically overseas, so that counts in
Yeah, because we still
some
bow the knee to
weird
the UK
silly
or some
way.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada's silly. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it is a bit
We're
daunting, but
if you've been paying attention to your Ontario politics, yeah, we're gonna stop people from speeding by getting rid of the road cameras.
yep, that'll work.
I hate everything. I hate it's so fucking dumb. But it's the typical like people with young bucks in their profile pictures that go from "Oh my god, look at the horrible WWE, look how offensive they're being." Again, they don't care who they hurt, they don't listen to anybody, and then when they do,
No.
"Ah, look at them, they flip-flop, they're pussies, da da da."
Yep, they gave in. What a joke.
I Alright. For a show that's not very political, we're gonna go from one political, thing to
Like I
another.
said, really quick, I just want to cap it off. We don't want anybody to
Yeah.
ever be reminded of something horrific
Oh, of
or
course
people
not.
to be upset. Like that's not the guys that we're getting at here. But if
No.
a word, seeing a word is really that triggering to you, then I think you have more therapy to worry about than you know what I mean. Like healing, you should not be
And
worried
that's
about a word. You
yeah,
should be getting help.
and that's not anything to make fun of. We've talked
No,
about that before as well,
that
like,
I'm in therapy.
if
That's a great thing to have, use, and utilize.
you've got a great thing and it's not this is the more legitimate version of, smartasses that are, "If you don't like it, don't watch." Like, if something's gonna be troubling to you, like, just skip it, watch the next one, take a breath.
Yeah,
Somebody will
you
tell you
you
what
you
happened on
don't
the
have
show.
to be.
Like,
Yeah,
doesn't make you a bad fan, it doesn't make you any less of a NXT, TNA, whatever.
and that I
Like,
admit was my worry with
hang
the
out with us,
Saudi
we will
shows.
talk about it next week.
You know, you and I touched on it when they announced Saudi's going to be at, WrestleMania's going to be in Saudi. Yeah, Saudi's going to be WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi.
Oh, yeah.
And when we discussed that,
Saudi is gonna be at WrestleMania.
yes, I was worried that people wouldn't go to or travel like they usually do in droves. A lot of
Mhm.
people go every year to this event and they make it like a normal travel thing for people. So you have groups of friends that
Yeah,
now they can't because it's not even like they're not willing. They're afraid to go because they've tweeted stuff online or, said something before that could get them put in jail or
but you know what
locked
the
up.
thing is, right? And this is somebody's gonna misconstrue this as me sticking up for the Saudi Sports Authority, and I'm not. But the bare bones of it is 2 things. A, look at the pay-per-view crowd at a Saudi show and
Yeah,
look at the kids in that crowd. Those kids
exactly.
don't get to go to that show if we don't do this. That's
Eh,
number 1.
yes.
That's one small little sliver of an argument. It's not very much of one, I get that. The other thing
But
about
it
it
is an
is, and this is
argument, and that's what I said. That's the ultimate silver lining that makes it all
of course, yeah.
worthwhile because now we
And people like
absolutely
Sami Zayn
can.
and Mansoor get to have a cool moment,
Yeah,
right? The other part of it is as well, and this is the argument that nobody really wants to hear, is that if we start saying you can't do a show where bad stuff has happened, there's not gonna be shows.
exactly.
Like, how far down that trail do you wanna really go, or do you wanna just stick with this because this is the headline grabbing thing at the moment?
So many
So
people stick with it, and that's kind of like the Masha thing. That's all of that really died
uh,
down to a quiet murmur, but it is being investigated. And there's a lot of proof that came to be, and it wasn't just like, oh, there is a text message. Like it was proven. She did even admitted most of it and
mm,
acknowledged, that. And it just really sucks. It's always very difficult to separate the art from the artist. Look at we like Jerry Lawler as a commentator. And he did some pretty
yeah,
awful things too, allegedly. Like we have all that, and some not alleged, and that's kind of the thing that we have to kind of remember
yeah,
that people are people and they're flawed. And these wrestlers, do a lot of terrible things. Look at Sonny, for goodness sake. I mean, wrestlers are
yeah.
indeed flawed and human as
Okay,
well.
well,
So
I'm gonna go back to the point I just made a second ago. If we get rid of every celebrity that's ever done anything bad, there's not gonna be much of an entertainment industry. Not
that's
saying that
that's
that's a good thing.
exactly
Not
what I'm
saying that
trying
that's a
to.
good thing. Don't get me wrong. And I just want to skip over this next one really quickly while we're like trying to walk on eggshells over political shit. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon at the White House, and everybody's losing their mind. Oh my goodness.
But we've seen them already at the White House. Like this
Yep.
is not something new. Like people act like they
They
didn't
had
know this
Barack Obama
happened.
speak on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
And if it wasn't for, like, all the AEW fans saying "Fed bad," and if it wasn't for all the lefties, I'm sorry, saying, "Scary orange man bad,"
you want to
in what
know a quick random fact that I think you'll enjoy is that I
what's that?
do like I love magic. One of the things I was always been captured by. I love the idea of it. The sleight of hand, just the
Oh, like
ability of
actual
make believe.
magic, not Magic the Gathering.
Yes, actual like
Okay,
street
actual
art
magic, okay.
magic. Yeah, disappearing
Chris
acts.
Angel,
Yes. So
nice.
David Blaine went ahead and got invited to the White House when Bush was there, and they
Mhm.
brought in ABC cameras along, and that's how they had that very famous moment where he freaked out and you know the president, and also stole the president's watch from him without him realizing it. He's like, "Here, I got you a
Okay.
gift." He gives him his own watch back. Funny,
Nice.
you know, great little. So Chris admitted it much later on in life, but he was so jealous of all the success that David Blaine had, he put a fake Barack Obama impersonator on his show,
Oh my
the
god.
Chris Angel show, to then go
Nice.
ahead and
I used to love that show, man.
I did too. So when I watched it, it was so many eons ago.
Mhm.
You know, it was like the early days of high def. We didn't have the best TV in the world.
No.
To this day, I didn't watch it like it was always like background fodder most times. Like I loved the
Yeah.
show, but you know, you would kind of like, you know, the important trick was at the end kind of idea. So when he had the whole president there, I really couldn't help but feel like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. And then to realize all these years later, it was just an impersonator,
Yeah.
just to, you know, play to his ego. That's hilarious because he
But
was
it's also
jealous
part of
that
the
Blaine did
show.
it. Oh no, absolutely. But it all
Like,
just added to the lore that it was and is Chris Angel.
you know what
I
I
did,
realized as well though? Like I like Magic and like all the shows out there that are like all behind the tricks and all that kind of thing. It's kind of like
yeah.
Magic's version of WWE Unreal, which apparently got canceled on its second season.
I know.
I don't
I didn't hate the first season. It wasn't
yeah.
great, but it had an idea. It was just too produced.
I
They
never
needed to get
watched
out
it,
of
but
it
it's kind of
more.
a cool thing to have out there.
Just let them get the
Um
cameras, you know?
But the one thing about it was, like, when you're younger, you're, "Oh, look at this neat trick, look at this cool trick," whatever. I go back and I watch, like, every now and then you'll see, like, somebody's uploaded a couple of random episodes of Mind Freak up on YouTube,
Yeah.
and you realize, like, sorta
How he did
kinda look at it
things. Yeah.
no, but kinda looking at it from a wrestling perspective, and it's just like, it wasn't the tricks, it was that he, like, kinda sneakily was a really good speaker, and a
That
really engaging
he is
speaker, and that's what makes everything work.
that's what magic is. That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
get it all back to say.
Mm.
Magic is wrestling and wrestling is magic. And you know
Indeed.
the way that you know magicians do magic is wrestlers doing it in theater. And it's all sleight of hand.
But
It's
now, all do a magic trick at the White House. Here's where I'm gonna go with this.
yes.
Do a magic trick at the White House. Fine. Totally fine. Everything's cool. Everybody's having a laugh, right? Now, 2025, because we don't like the guy in charge, they're doing UFC at the White House. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not fair. That's not fun.
And you know what it is? For me, I don't give a shit about UFC. I could care less. The only UFC matches I ever watched were Punk's 2 matches.
And that says something.
And I've seen like, I saw clips of Rousey, I saw clips of Lesnar, like, in, like, backhanded curiosity type of thing, but I've never like, I
Never
will
cared
not
to
wa
actually watch.
I
Yeah.
I watched the one boxing thing only because we all wanted to know what live on Netflix looked like, and
Yeah.
Jake Paul's a doofus. It's
Exactly.
fine.
It was fun.
I'm not going to watch UFC at the White House, but it's like Cocaine Bear. I'm kind of glad that it exists.
Exactly, because it's something that's never been done before in this
But
like
but
yeah,
hear
the
me on
White
this,
House
right?
had people perform there before, but not fight.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty
But
next
there's been
level
other sports,
nuts.
like, they've done golfing on the front lawn and
Yes,
croquet
that's
and
what I'm
all this
saying.
type
They've
of thing,
had other
and
athletics, but
you
not
know what?
fighting that I know
You know
of.
what? And if a certain other sleepy guy was still in charge, they'd be, "See, look, he's not that old a guy, he's doing the new hip things. Now he's got
Yeah,
a hip replacement, it's fine."
it would be a
You know
positive.
the
Yeah.
thing. But my point about all this, and I'm only mentioning it to me because it's bizarre, right? And this is not a, "Oh, let's all cheer for Trump." This is not even a "let's all cheer for WWE" thing, right? They all came together. Stephanie was there. I think Linda was there because she's still in the education cabinet. Is that how
Yes.
that works?
Yes.
So Linda's there,
I
Stephanie's there,
believe.
Triple H is
Yeah.
there, Trump's there, and they're all there, and they're talking about Connor's cure, and they're talking about, like, infant cancer and, like, what kind of studies they can use to, like, eradicate some kinds of, like, cancers that are specific to, like, young kids and whatever. It's like, okay, fair. I don't know anything about any of these topics, right?
Yes.
But you hate Triple H, and you hate this big scary orange man so bad that you're against them coming together to help kids with cancer.
Yeah, that's where your message goes to go fuck
You
itself.
cannot tell me, I'm sorry, this is not a political podcast. If you're against that, you cannot tell me you're the good guy.
Yeah. You can't claim
Also,
to be pure
also,
and also
and
taking away.
I'm going to remove myself from Jake for a second because this is simply coming from me. Totally has nothing to do with wrestling. You know what came back today?
What's that?
Change my mind.
That's yeah, that is
Steven Crowder
true.
did his first change my mind in a couple of years. And following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, if you don't understand why that's important, I can't help you.
I wonder how the security works for all that now, because he was threatened many times
Oh,
as well.
his whole stage was bulletproof glass done in. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it after we do this because it'll still
That
be
makes sense.
more
That's
uplift.
sad though,
It'll
right? Like
be
you
more.
can't even be
It is
connected
really
to these
sad.
people.
It is
Like
really sad.
had they did that for Charlie, he may still be
Yeah.
here. Like all these
But you know
thoughts.
what I like though? The one clip that I did see before the full video actually came out was somebody that he had just finished debating with because like Crowder, much like Charlie, much more on the religious side of things. I'm not a super religious person, people know this.
Yeah,
But the guy that he had just finished debating with and said, hey, do you want to come together and close with a prayer? And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a religious person to say that's pretty fucking cool. And
No,
like, if you don't understand, again, I'm going far across the field here. Now, if you don't understand why something like Change My Mind is important, especially in 2025, then I can't help you. And it's not about sides, it's about conversations.
yeah.
Tell the people you love that you love them and everybody just be nicer to each other. That's my TED talk. Let's get back to the stupid wrestling.